And he came back to look for the end of River Niger. He want to know where River Niger emptied. Now, in the process of trying to find out where our own River Niger emptied, he got drowned at Buza in the present-day Niger State, and he died there. Do you know that Mungo Park, the man that we are told discovered the River Niger, was just 24 years old at the time? This is African Reading Parlor with Chimezo Demenam. We are still on what Britain did to Nigeria, still on part 1, the pre-colonial era. In this video, we'll be looking at curiosity and exploration. So I have some few notes that we want to share with you on this part of the book, Curiosity and Exploration. It centers around the curiosity of the Europeans and their exploration towards discovering a whole lot of things in Africa. Take note. The Europeans knew little about the inland area in Africa. To many of them, Africa is a mystery of the world. To the Europeans before they came, of what they've heard and other things, they believe that Africa is a mystery of the world. Number 2, they called Africa the Dark Continent because maps of centuries ago had nothing to disclose of Africa's vast interior but blank spaces. That was why Africa was called a dark continent. Also, were it not for River Niger, the interior of Africa would probably have remained unknown to Europeans for several more decades. Can one blame the innocent river for British conquest? The Europeans have always wanted to find out this mighty river, whether it flowed east or west, or where the river emptied. Also, the 24-year-old Scottish doctor Mungo Park, who was sent by the Royal Geographical Society in 1795, who claimed to have discovered our River Niger on 21st July 1796 at Sengu, modern-day Mali, has this to say after he so-called discovered our River Niger. Mungo Park said, "I saw with infinite pleasure the great object of my mission, glittering in the morning sun, as broad as the themes of Westminster, and flowing slowly to eastward. I hastened to the brink, and having drunk of the water, lifted up my fervent thanks in prayer to great ruler of all things, for having thus far crowned my endeavors with success." This was what Mungo Park said after he, according to them, discovered our own River Niger. Also, Nigerian school children are often taught that Mungo Park discovered River Niger, yet it has been known to millions of Africans who lived close to the river, fished in it, and sailed on it for centuries before Park even arrived. So River Niger wasn't discovered by Mungo Park. It has been there before Mungo Park came. When Mungo Park returned to Britain, he wrote a book about his journey, which became a bestseller. His recorded account further increased European curiosity. When Mungo Park went back to Britain, he wrote a book about his journey. He wrote a book about the wonderful discovery he made in Africa. And because the book became a bestseller, people in Europe got more curious to further discover what Mungo Park, according to him, have discovered in Africa, our own River Niger. Also, this same Mungo Park got drowned at Buza, modern-day Niger State, Nigeria, in another expedition to discover the termination of River Niger. After Mungo Park, according to them, discovered our own River Niger, he went back, wrote a very big book. The book became a bestseller. And as a result, Europeans want to know more about what this guy, actually discovered. And he came back to look for the end of River Niger. He want to know where River Niger emptied. Now, in the process of trying to find out where our own River Niger emptied, he got drowned at Buza in the present-day Niger State, and he died there. And the last one on this chapter, before the British took over India, I'm talking about India now, they engaged series of expeditions that seemed harmless, but was a subtle way of knowing more about the territory. These British tactics triggered fear of invasion among Nigerian natives, but at the end, it repeated itself when British, after a series of expeditions, came to know West Africa more than West Africa know about themselves. Hence, their level of successes in their invasion of this great country and the continent of Africa. Trying to come with curiosity, expedition, a kind of want to find out more has been British tactics ab initio. That's the tactics they use in India, and that's the same tactics they use in Africa. Mungo Park came to, look at the inland river in Africa, and from the expedition, they just get to know much about Africa and West Africa, and it happened that we were almost in bondage for decades. This much I can take on this chapter. Kindly share this video and make sure you are reading. You can request for a copy of this book and we'll find a way to get it to you. This is what Britain did to Nigeria. Bye for now.